that it looks okay. Yeah, so we can delete this first one then, and scroll down, delete that first one, and then we can paste it. So you might want this to be a little bit bigger, but first let's move it so that it's at the right spot. So I think this is actually intersecting right now, so maybe I don't want to place it here. Let's just adjust the size of it to see if our reslice tool will reappear. There we go. All right, so a good way of seeing if your reslice will actually intersect is if you zoom in here and you notice that the circle above is not touching the reslice tool at all, then you're good to go. That means that if you added a contour group right here, it wouldn't overlap with the next one. So let's do that then. We'll paste from previous and try to center it as best you can. Maybe even make it a little bigger. And one way you can double check to see how big this area is compared to your other ones is there's some contour geometry information on the bottom left corner. So you can take a look at the perimeter size, the area size, and see how it is relative to the other one. So the area is definitely much bigger. Or the perimeter is 105 for this contour group, and for the other one it was 101. So it's similar enough. But now you'll notice what happens is that the contour group is now listed under it, but we want it to be in order of the reslicing, right? So what we can do is, again, we can copy this, make sure it's copied, and then delete it and go back. So this reslice, we're at 22 now, which is where we want it. So if I paste it now it'll appear underneath. So the reason for this is just so that there's no errors with the lofting preview. All right, I'm not sure what this is, but let's see. If we turn on the lofting preview, if we'll actually see. Yeah, so the lofting preview is just a preview of the model, and it's shown in gray here. So if it shows up, that means that the contour, there's no issues with the contour groups. And you would just continue adding in more contour groups. So you can use the spine poly tool. And you can, once in a while, maybe after adding every other contour group, you can turn the lofting preview back on and double check if the vessel surface is smooth or not. So I'm going to smooth this out. And then once again, there's no rule around how many contour groups you need. I would just say in general, make sure they're not overlapping. Make sure you have enough so that the lofting preview looks accurate. And those are the main guidelines around the segmentations. So you just continue doing this until you reach the end. And sometimes the reslicing will be a little bit cut off, and that's okay. You can just either not add, you can choose to not add a contour group there and just try to add one to the last reslice that was full. So again, for the purposes of time, I'm going to import in my segmentations. And this one, aorta copy. I think I don't know. I'll just call it aorta for now. All right, so I'm going to remove this one. Or sorry, I'm just going to show you what this one looks like first so that you get an idea. Yeah, so if I turn off the other one, so this is what the one I made before looks like. You'll see it's nice, no overlapping contour groups, and it follows the path. If I were to turn on the lofting preview, the vessel looks fairly smooth as well. So that's what we're aiming for here. So I'm going to go and remove this one to avoid confusion. All right, so I will continue importing in the remaining segmentations. And oh, I'm not sure what this is. And here we have, so you'll notice that the coronary arteries have much smaller contour groups. So in that case, you can again adjust the size of your reslice. Maybe instead of 50, which it was earlier, we can have, we can even do 15 and see if that works. And that's quite blurry. So maybe instead we could do 25. Still a little bit blurry, so keep moving up until it appears a little more clearly. So, okay, so that, again, it also could be because the vessel opening itself is fairly small. So, but if we did move up, we'll see that it's a little bit more clear here. So we did. And if we turn on the left branch, you'll see it's pretty much in the center. And something you might have noticed with this is that it actually starts at the bottom. And that might just be the orientation, the way the path was created. But it's okay. Just try and follow this as best you can, because if you try and add a point out of order of reslicing, the lofting preview may not appear properly. All right, so I'm going to continue with importing in segmentations. And you'll see that I have a lot more contour groups for the smaller vessels, and that's because the smaller vessels tend to have a lot more, it's not as straightforward in terms of the shape. So to make sure that all the little discrepancies are covered, I created more contour groups. So continue importing. Oh, sorry. Yeah, so just make sure you use different names for each as well. So continue importing. So this one, LCA branch 4.